Topping the news tonight, the opposition leader tells the House that the premature proclamation of Section 34 was either a case of dereliction of duty or a conspiracy. As he filed a motion of censure against the AG this afternoon, Dr. Keith Rowley demands that the Attorney General explain his role in the fiasco.
Did he fail to do all of these obvious things because it was his government's intention that those favorite persons, those certain persons, should go free? Or was it his own private intention?
Whichever is the answer to that question, the opposition leader calls on the Prime Minister to relieve Attorney General Anand Ramlogan of his duties. Because either way, Dr. Keith Rowley reasons there has been an apparent breach of parliamentary trust by the AG in the premature proclamation of Section 34 of the Administration of Justice Indictable Offences Act 2011, as the AG would have been aware of all the facts.
It should be clear to him that once Section 34 was proclaimed, these persons would be entitled to apply to the court to be discharged of all offences.
That's right.
The Attorney General, if nobody else in this country knew that, or could have worked that out, the Attorney General, because he had a foot in each camp.
And Dr. Rowley is not buying into government's idea of collective parliamentary oversight, because he points out that the implications of the Section 34 amnesty was raised in the Senate. The PNM leader recalls that the AG assured the Parliament that the necessary amendments would have been made to Schedule 6 to include money laundering and bid rigging, and that the legislation would not have been proclaimed until the necessary infrastructure was implemented. And that's why the opposition voted in favor of it.
And then he now has the responsibility for the Attorney General's office. And the office failed to prevent these things from happening. And he set out on a crusade with his colleagues to tell the country it was an oversight, Mr. Speaker. We say we don't buy that half-picked duck. It was a conspiracy. It was, in fact, a brilliant maneuver to a particular end.
Dr. Rowley says earlier in the year, the Director of Public Prosecutions also expressed his concerns about certain persons being allowed to walk free as a result of legislation.
The DPP said a significant portion of the cabinet met with him in July. And when he pointed out to them what they were doing and where they were heading, they said the cabinet has taken a decision.
Following its piecemeal proclamation in August, Section 34 was repealed in September. Herbert Volney was also fired from his Justice Minister post for having misled the cabinet. But according to the 2011 Gazette, criminal legislation was taken away from Mr. Volney. And he writes off Mr. Ramlogan's criminal cases, inexperience, excuses as hogwash.
Because criminal legislation was removed from the Minister of Justice in July of 2011 and it transferred to the Attorney General. And Mr. Speaker, that having been so, if there is one person in this country who should and must know that, it must be the Attorney General. Why then has the Attorney General been carrying on this charade of telling the country that it was the Minister of Justice who was responsible?
Lame duck excuse, lame duck.
And he says according to the Constitution, the AG has full responsibility for the matter.